What's up, everybody? It's Jake and Joe podcast on Patreon. But the first part of this is going to be wrestling. So for all you anti-wrestling people, sorry, but the first few minutes of this is going to be wrestling, and then it will be other stuff. And there's the only wrestling I wanted to talk about real quick was the Raw viewership, because somebody sent me a message, and they said to me, "See, Joe, you dumb idiot, the ratings don't always go down." And they literally sent me the Raw viewership from last night, and they said, "Joe, not only was it a good show, and you said it sucked, but look, the ratings went up." I just ran over a bottle, by the way. It sounded like something died in my room. So the ratings did go up 1.6% to 1.779 million, right? Which is really bad, right? Like the ratings, like anything below 2 is shocking that the WWE is doing below 2. They've gone way down to 2, but they've been under 2 for a while now, and we've hit low amounts of 1.6 and 1.7s and things like that. But so what? The ratings went up a little bit. It was the night after Survivor Series, the night after Undertaker retired. The ratings always usually trend slightly upward no matter what. They could have put on a really good show or a piss poor show, and the ratings would always go slightly up usually from the previous week because it's the night after a pay-per-view. It's like, dude, these people are so stupid that they don't even pay attention to that. How many times do I repeat this? Like, are you new to the game? And I'm assuming you are. I'm assuming that these people are new people.
Yeah. I mean, it was a 1.81, I believe, or 1.78 was, the overnight was 1.81.
Oh.
And the week before they were at what, 1.656, I think it was.
So I'm reading that the last hour drew 1.6. So this week's drew less than last week's in third hour.
Yeah, in the third hour was
so there's the key right there. The third hour did less than the previous week, which tells you everybody some people decided to tune in after not watching because they wanted to see what happened the night after Survivor Series. Then they watched and said, "Oh my God, same shit," and they certainly tuned out. And then by the third hour, there were less people watching this week than last week. But the night after a pay-per-view, there should be more people watching in the third hour. But there weren't.
Yeah, and I mean, last week they had the title match, so that helped boost the third hour, really.
Mm-hmm.
That little bit of artificial inflation, but when they have nothing seriously announced for a main event, these are the results you get.
Listen, guys, if you guys want to hear the full podcast with me and Jake that's going on right now, make sure you guys jump on Patreon. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Thanks to Alex Smith, who became a $5 patron just earlier. Shout out to everybody who's watching the rebroadcast of the first hour of Corrupted Podcast from a couple weeks ago on Corrupted Nation. And shout out to Hail Metal Forever. He's back on the Patreon at the $5 spot. Muhammad Abdel Wahab in the $1 spot as well. And Luis Antonio Alejandro, $25 producer. Thank you. We could use some more producers, as obviously we've lost some producers. So yeah, Raw was not very good. There were those couple moments. We talked about it enough last night. There's really just not much more to get into. But as far as the Raw viewership numbers, people thinking that, oh, this is some kind of win. What, because the audience went up by an extra 100,000? Not even? Oh, no, it's not even that. What is it? How much did it go up by? Well,
I think it was less than 200,000. So
okay, less than 200,000. It went up, but it only went up because it was the night after Survivor Series. So get over it. That's stupid.
And that was the average. The third hour actually went down. It was less. So
people are ridiculous, dude. The fact that someone rushed to send me that to say, "Look, you're wrong." What am I wrong about? It's a fact. Every single. You know what I'm not. You know how I'm going to prove to you that you're messed up. Go take the percentage of how much the ratings go up after a pay-per-view of the last 3 years. If you take the last 3 years and you look at how much the ratings go up and the viewership goes up the night after a pay-per-view, you will see that gap close. You'll see that 2 years ago, the night after a pay-per-view, an extra 300 to 500,000 people watched or more.
Yeah.
And you will see that over the past year, that number's gone down from 3% to 2% to 1.9% to now what this is, which according to this, it's 1.6%. So you'll see the
it's
percentage.
barely an increase.
You'll see a drop. So pretty soon you'll have a pay-per-view, and then the night after a pay-per-view there'll only be an extra 50,000 or 20,000 people that watch. That's where you're heading. That's where the numbers trend. I should break all these numbers down and make a chart so I can show it to people to like actually explain to you what the fuck's going on.
Charts and graphs. We'll get line charts, pie graphs, you name it, we'll have it. If there's a circle and a dot, we'll prove you wrong. I mean, as far as the ratings go, that's been consistently trending downwards. Even if they go up a little bit each week, it's still not, increasing exponentially enough to make a difference. Right. It's dwindling down more and more and more continually. The average is going down, not up.
But transitioning away from wrestling, let's talk about something sad. No, I'm just kidding. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that one. I just saw a story, and I'm like, let's not start with that story. That looks like a tough one. That doesn't look very good. Melania Trump. Well, this one's funny. Melania Trump blocked from projecting rainbow colors onto the White House to celebrate Pride Month. Sources say White House Chief of Staff. Now, who knows how real this is? Sources say White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was behind efforts to distance Trump administration from the celebration. Whatever. So they didn't do it? They didn't do the rainbow colors during Pride Month?
I'm not aware.
I don't know either.
I honestly don't know.
I guess they didn't.
Go figure, though.
I would have done it.
Melania, she doesn't give a damn about Christmas, and people have been on her for that in her comments.
Dude, Melania fucking hates this. That's what's funny. Like, I want to know how long until she divorces or whatever, if she can't. Like, but I don't think she will divorce. I think she's going to wait for him to die to get all the stuff. Because
that or just separates.
Because why would you put up with this? She's put up with this already. I mean, she's already put up with all this shit. Why would you have put up with all this? And she knew he was running.
I really couldn't tell you.
And she knew he was running.
She's waiting out the money. But by that point, what money?
God.
He's got enough debt.
Well, if she's
That's
lucky.
the sad part.
She's probably hoping he does get in trouble and like go to jail and everything, because then she can just do whatever, and now she'll get the money.
Yeah, get free reign of whatever's not seized.
But don't you think you would have some kind of prenup thing, like, because he's a savage? So.
Oh, I'm sure he's got some ironclad way to protect his assets.
But then what's she doing? She really likes him?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, he does pay for the lifestyle, and I mean, it could be true love, but there's also a lot of money involved, and she gets to, be paraded around the first lady. You get all this money, and
it'd be
to
funny.
Live a lavish lifestyle.
It'd be funny is if she was allowed to bang other dudes and she was like a whore, like she just got slammed by everybody.
Donald knows that it's an open relationship,
right? Like she knows, he knows. But
so long as she comes home to daddy, I don't care where she goes.
Yeah. But he really does like they really love each other though. You know what I'm saying? Like they really do love each other, but they know that they're like they don't care that much, and she gets just like she gets like grounded and pounded like in a I don't know, like I'm just
a neighbor in mine in college was in an open relationship, and it just baffled me. I'm too much of a jealous person. That would never work from my end, but that would eat me alive, pun intended. I wouldn't be able to tolerate it. I'd constantly be worried, what guy are you with? Is he better? Is it, that kind of stuff, just being insecure. But he was like, yeah, I get to sleep with whoever I want, and she's hooking up with whatever, she wants, and we talk every night, and because they were both at a different college, so they basically were dating but not dating.
Right.
It was the weirdest thing, but it worked, and it kept their relationship going, and I'm like, okay, if you're happy, but I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
Well, we have questions that are on Patreon that you guys asked, and we're going to answer them now. We're going to get into some stuff. Let me start with the first
really quick
one.
For the questions too.
Yeah.
Did you hear that they took Chappelle's show down off of Netflix?
I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, someone said that, and I was like, but they just put it on. Why would they take it down?
I guess from what I see here, a few people actually sent this to me now on Twitter, and Dave Chappelle himself asked Netflix to take it down, and they agreed.
Why?
The quote from him is that it was just so I could feel better. That's why I, fuck with Netflix, meaning that they're good to him. He claimed he never got paid after leaving the Chappelle show and was never told about the current streaming deals. So he gets nothing for the show. So he asked Netflix to take it down, and they did.
Wow. I mean, he kind of sucks.
He's got a good relationship with Netflix with, their comedy specials being exclusive to to Netflix and things like that. So
Right.
that relationship gave him some power and leeway. And since he's not being paid for the streaming, I'm sure something will happen now because they're going to want to stream that content. People are going to want to watch it, and I guarantee the rights will change eventually. Maybe he'll get something out of it now.
Okay, so listen, I love Dave Chappelle, but this is kind of a shitty move, right? To the fans, at least. But
it is very petty. Like, I understand he's upset by it, but
yeah, like, so I get it because that sucks, and he's a savage. He's like, no, you're not gonna do this shit. But it will. Man, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know if I like this. Like, it's but I know that he's got bitterness to them because all the stuff they did, and I mean,
it
Comedy
feels
Central.
very petty. Yeah, and I'm sure he's justified in feeling robbed and taken advantage of, but it also was his choice to leave then, right? Like, he just didn't want to do it anymore and took off. And I don't know if he left in the middle of a contract, or I don't remember all the details, but I remember it was a big issue at that point because he literally just up and took off. The show was supposed to be making a 4th season, and then he was gone. So,
wow. I mean, people thought it was the SJWs. They were telling me all day, like, the SJWs took down Chappelle's show.
That's what I assumed at first. I was like, oh, someone probably complained, knowing that, but that wasn't the case, surprisingly enough.
I just tweeted out, Dave took down his own show.
And then on top of it, did you see that monolith that was found while they were doing like a weird overfly? It was pretty cool. But
So I saw that too, and I was like, well, somebody put that there, like, right? I mean, as a joke or whatever.
It has to be, man-made placed, but such a cool thing to come across. 2001: A Space Odyssey in real life.
But see, like, I didn't even think it was because I just thought, oh, just somebody put that there. That's stupid. But
they said they're not sharing the location because it's so hard and remote to get to that they're worried people are going to flock to it.
Yeah.
And it would cause people to get injured or trapped, and they'll have to be rescued to get taken away. Like, that's how remote this is. They only saw it while flying by, counting animals in a helicopter.
A couple of weirdos dragged this thing out there and put it there.
Well, that's what they said. It's 10 or 12 feet tall. It seems to be very heavy, and it's firmly planted into the ground. So they don't know how it got out there, who put it out there. They assume it's some type of art project or an installation in that sense. But
that's funny.
The pilot was joking, saying, like, if it disappears, then I guess the rest of us will make a run for it.
You guys can listen to the rest of the podcast on Patreon, who are listening on YouTube, by the way. Thanks for listening. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Patreon.com/JoeCronin We're going to get to your comments in just a second. So get on over there to Patreon, and we'll talk about it. And the audio will be there for download. So, monoliths, I mean, did you have anything else you wanted to mention before we do the questions?
What was that? You cut up there. I'm sorry.
Oh, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we do the questions?
One last thing. A little